it that Sharif Cooper hasn't done that I can say he should do to say he's done it all?
He won that championship. That was it.
Everything. He's done everything. He's scored a lot of assists.
The only thing that can cap off his career is becoming Mr. Basketball.
So why is it that when I watch Juwan Odom, did I feel like he's the best player? Every time I watch Juwan Odom play, I feel like I'm seeing something special. Like I'm seeing something that I'm not gonna maybe not see again. I said that for a long time. BJ Boston was my favorite high school player in Georgia. I don't get that feeling that I'm seeing something I'll never see again. Yo, it's the Love the Game podcast. We're in the building. We here. What's good?
I got a public service announcement. Every time we're late, it's never me and Bryce's fault. FYI.
Never. All right. Okay. Never. I'm gonna take that one a lot.
If it's our fault, it's because we're in the gym. That's the only way it's our fault.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be late just because I'm at home.
I got you, lot.
I think the only time we probably been late less than
the gym
2 times.
I'm gonna take that one, and
I have unexcused absences.
I wasn't gonna say it, Locke. I was gonna wait for you to say it, but okay, it's all good. I'm gonna take that one though, Locke. We're gonna do better.
No, we're gonna definitely do. I've been doing better.
I'm gonna do better.
No, I know when you're gonna be late. When you send out the link after 5:30, you're gonna be late.
Hey, it is a trend, man. But I actually like to see the reasons why they say I do got Kool-Aid today.
Yeah.
The reasons why they say that I'm going to be late is even more hilarious sometimes.
I got in trouble. When somebody said I was talking to somebody's mom, I had someone watching the show, and I had to hear a mouthful.
Hey, I was wondering if all this BBW conversation ever got you in a jam, Locke.
No, not the BBW. No. I like
Locke said, no, everybody know that.
Nah.
Hey, we do need that to happen. We need the neighbor back on the podcast, Locke.
No, matter of fact, I'm gonna get both of them. I got 2 neighbors actually.
Locke about to tell me she moved.
No, I got 2 neighbors. I got 2 turned up neighbors. We'll definitely get them on the show next time. They cool. They real cool.
Hey, speaking of Locke, I want you to help me throw DeJuan's birthday party this year. We're gonna talk about it.
Nah, he gotta be 18.
We're gonna talk about it.
If you want me involved, he has to be 18. He has to be 8. If you want me involved, my party's becoming a little legendary.
Hey, so how's everybody's week go, man? Everything good? We spent a lot of time in the gym.
Oh yeah, hey man! Shout out to Dre's mom and sister. They whipped it up for me on Sunday, man. Hey. Why you brought it to people, man?
Why you ain't bring food on Saturday?
I mean, I didn't bring food.
No, I went to his mom's crib.
He got the invite.
Yeah, Locke stopped by Mom Dude's crib with me.
Nah, hey, it really wasn't no invite. Dre introduced me to his mom. He's not supposed to, so I was looking at her. I said, Dre, I know your mom cooked today.
As many times this man talked about your neck, you invite him over to the crib.
The thing was, I talked about his neck in front of his mom. She started laughing.
This is true.
And his auntie.
This is true. It was a good time, though, man.
Drake getting slim though. I seen him on Saturday. He definitely slimming up.
You know what I'm saying, man? I'm working, dog. I'm out here, man.
But
I'm out here. Chef Boyardee Drake. I'm in the kitchen. I'm back cooking.
But I can see why I can see why he's big. His mom had everything. She had sweet potato souffle, chicken, cornbread. She had collard greens. She had turnip greens.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. I'm over here living a life. On a Sunday?
My mom doesn't know how to cook for like a small number of people. So like her and my aunt live in that crib together. Like they don't like my mom doesn't even know how to do that. Like 4 people, she doesn't know how to cook for 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she can cook for like less than 10 to 15 people.
Oh, and his auntie's so gangster. Oh, hey man, we gotta hang out again.
Kick out of you saying that, like.
Hey, she's gangster, man. I rock with your people, Dre. I really appreciate the invite.
Good folks, man. I don't get a chance to see them enough because they live way on that side of town.
Oh yeah,
I gotta make my way down there a little.
Yeah, Madonna was a drive.
Damn, it's 30-9.
Definitely. Gang, what's good? Yo. Man, let's get into it, man. We watched a lot of basketball this weekend. Do we want to start off with like some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to these camps of like?
Oh yeah. I gotta pull out my bag. I gotta listen.
A lot going into the list. I feel like we need to teach kids and people what to expect when it comes to these camps and how to perform well, because I feel like that may be misunderstood.
Man, I think you got to listen. I think that's one of the most important things at a camp, especially during the games and when you're coaching. Because me and Cam Daly we was talking about, he literally told a kid, hey, I want you to set this ball screen. Once you set it, roll to make a V. He told him something. The kid told him, man, I'm not doing that. That's not going to work. That's what a kid told him at camp.
Told Cam Daly, of all people. That's crazy.
You know, so it was like, and I was telling Cam, I said, yeah, Cam, I got to the point, I was finna fight a couple of my guys I was coaching. You was talking a lot of shit to the teams that you was coaching, man. What was some of the stuff that you were seeing that was just frustrating? All right. At Chris Camp, when I coached, a lot of the teams didn't have up to maybe like 6 to 8 players. So everybody's gonna touch the ball and everybody's gonna play, and you're playing 3 games. I honestly feel there's no reason to be a ball hog or a firehead unless you're on and you knock down a few couple shots. But I was just seeing, like, I seen guys who I knew can play just taking tough shots instead of just making the right play. And I'm explaining to them, look, college coaches really can find people that can score all the time. What else are you going to bring to the game? A lot of times you need to just know that you can make the right play. Make your open shots, but make the right basketball play like you know what you're doing to win the game. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was trapping on ball screens. I was trying to win. Yeah. And there were college coaches. So just to be clear, if people don't know, Southern Hoops Report had their camp last Saturday, and then Pro Movement had their camp on Sunday. Yeah. Both had coaches. And it was coaches. Prep schools. But it's a pet peeve, man. Just not listening.
My don'ts. I'm gonna say my one little don't. Because I was doing like 3-on-3 4-on-4 stuff, and I don't like kids. This might sound crazy. I don't like kids who be like extra, like clout chasing. Like if you're talking on defense, talk on defense. That's cool. Great job. If you're hustling, hustle. But don't look at me to see if I'm looking at you to see if that's going to make me like take note of you. That doesn't make you good. You know what I mean? That's just a piece of the game. Like you
Well, they just wanted your approval, Bryce.
You gotta still be good. Like, you still have to, like, I tweeted out my top 15. Okay,
that was a good 15 too.
My top 15 came from a combination of what I saw in the stations at my station, who stood out, and it came from my observations during the games and where I was. Like I said, if you're gonna play hard, compete, do all that stuff, but don't do it because a coach is standing right there or an evaluator is standing right there. Do it because you love to do it.
Do it for the cameras.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it for us. Do it because this is genuinely what you want to do it, and this is what you know what I mean. Like if I'm one pass away and I'm in denial, I'm in denial. If I'm in help, I'm in help. But then when it's a dead ball and the play is over, don't look at me and say hey and smile at me like, yeah, I know you see me talking on defense. Like, bro, don't do that. Just do it because you want to do it. Do it because you love to do it. So
do you think? That's my question, Bryce. Do kids play because they love the game now? Do you feel like kids play because they love it?
I don't know. But I know that like that'll get your attention. Like that got some kids. It got me to look at them. Like, oh, okay, he's talking on defense. He's loud. He going hard. But then you actually watch him, and the kid didn't hit one shot. The kid didn't make one good pass. You know what I mean? So it's like you just doing all that rah just to see if you can get a rise out of me, and it doesn't, or the person who's watching you, like they're still going to see if you can play. Like that's just the icing on the cake. If the kid is, so that's my only thing. It's like, yeah, man, of course, talk on defense, talk on offense, communicate, have fun, but don't do it just because you're at a camp and just because you know people are going to tweet and just because you know people are going to have cameras and evaluate you. Do it because you genuinely want to do it. Because you genuinely are excited to play here. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it just because you want to. That doesn't work for me. I see through that stuff. So that's my biggest don't. Like, and that's even now, if I'm playing, I'm going to talk to my teammates. I'm going to have fun. I'm not doing it because anybody watching. I'm doing it because that's part of it. It's part of the game. So that was my only thing that I kind of noticed. I'm like, you know, other than that, man, I saw a bunch of kids that were hungry, that were competing, that played hard. Even in the 3-on-3 or 4-on-4, like they weren't giving up no easy buckets, nothing. So for me to get, if you got my attention in the stations, that means you really stood out. Whether you played harder or you made the open pass, like you did something that got my attention. And a lot of those kids, honestly, on my top 15, I probably only have seen 7 of them. You know what I mean? Like I knew 7 of them. The rest of them are like, okay, I'm interested in him. I can like Alex Acosta. I'd never seen him before.
He was at a freshman year,
and he played in the stations. He was going hard. He was blocking shots. He was rebounding. He was tapping his teammates up. I said, okay, let me look at him. He got my attention, but then his game followed it. So I kept it going. I kept tracking him throughout the day. You know what I mean? I did not know his name. I had to look at the sheet and say, oh, okay, that's who that is. So, yeah, you know.
I don't want to skip over him, Bryce, because he did receive an offer.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said,
got an offer from Voorhees and Huff.
Yeah, he did get an offer he got a couple offers. He got one from Maryville too. So
3.4 GPA.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't. That was just based off a station. That was based off 3-on-3. I saw him play 3-on-3, and I said, "Dang, he playing hard. It's early in the morning. He playing hard. He's talking. He's doing all these things. Okay, let me see what number he is and circle his name." And I put the piece. Eventually, I put the pieces together about it in the camp and said, "Okay, I've seen him on Twitter. I know who he is now. You know what I mean?" So, that was my thing. That was my thing.
Another kid that kind of reminded me, I won't say reminded me of Alex, but a kid that I felt like just played hard and played the right way was Josh Hughes, the kid from Etowah.
Yeah,
6'5", good body, just like I even talked to him after the game. I hope he didn't take offense to it because I had been talking to college coaches about him, and everybody asked, well, what does he do well? What is his best skill? And I was like, well, shit, coach, I don't know. But I can tell you that it's like every game I see him, he gets 20 and 10, 20 and 13. And can I tell you how he does it? No, because it looks different every time. He just knows how to play. Coach, I don't know what to tell you. This kid knows how to play. If you need a kid 6'5", 6'6", that'll go and block out every time, that'll rebound all the time, that can make open shots, that can finish around the rim, this kid can do it. He just knows how to play. And I felt like he had a really good camp as well. Another high GPA kid.
Yeah. I was also, there was two kids that impressed me. One of them, he's been pretty consistent, but another one, I think that doesn't get a lot of credibility, tweets, notoriety, that I thought performed really well, was Braden Sparks. And
from the teacher, the point guard.
From the teacher. And I
looked a lot better.
I feel like this kid is like, I like his game a lot. And for me to say that, like, I don't say that often. You know what I mean? And I thought that out of the point guards there were probably 2 or 3 there that I thought were in that top percentage of point guards. I thought he was either 1 or 2.
I feel like because he came to the first Southern Hoops Report camp earlier in the spring, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't play as well that camp as he did in this one. Yeah. And Braden is a kid, and you had to coach against him when you coached at McEachern. Like, Braden's a kid that we've been tracking for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was happy to see him look the way he looked because that's how I imagined that, his game would play out. Like, that kid was do we want to call him a superstar in middle school? Like, it was Bruce.
Nah, he was a stud. He was a stud. He had a big name. He had a stud, just think this. I always just look at what if he went to a different high school and got to play a lot earlier.
True.
I think he's going to end up being a Division I point guard. That's just the way I look at it. And I mean, I don't know what's going to happen for him in the summertime and stuff like that. But from what I saw, I was like thoroughly impressed.
I can't speak to what level he is, Bryce, but I was happy that
I can't say what level it is.
And I don't know either for sure. I just, in my mind, watching him, I say,
just a kid that I always quietly kind of rooted for. You know what I mean? Like, just a kid I wanted to see do good. It was good to see him play like that.
Yeah. He does get better every time you see him. Because I remember coaching him in the spring at out there at Stone Mountain at that gym. And like you said, he didn't look bad, but he definitely did. I didn't see him this camp, but I did hear a lot of good reviews.
He looks, when you see a player and they look like they're better than the competition, like okay, like I'm kind of ready for the next level, like I'm a senior, like I know what I'm doing.
He looked seasoned.
He was confident. He was seasoned. Now he missed some shots here and there. He missed some easy shots. He was like, got mad at himself, but that's not a big deal. But I mean, he just knew what he was doing. And you see that as a college coach, and you see that he's got the physique and the size and the shot, you got a chance.
I think Bryce really hit it on the head. Like, I think Bryce really nailed it. He looked confident. Mm-hmm. He was sure of himself. He wasn't second guessing himself. He was in the sport.
Not at all.
He was sure of what he wanted to do, where he wanted to go with the ball. He looked great.
And I don't see why that doesn't carry over in the summertime in his senior year. So,
well, he's under a new coach, Tree. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely going to be an interesting senior season for him. See how things go.
That's a good point. Like, could be a shot of confidence.
Yeah.
New coach, you never know what's happening in those summer workouts. Could be a shot of confidence coming from that coaching staff.
Man.
The other person who I think is highly underrated that will probably change is Brazen James.
Who?
Brazen James.
Yeah.
I think he's way better than advertised.
I can see that.
Way better.
I definitely can see that.
And
I don't think I know what, but the thing is, he's been good. I just think he's in Evans. He's out there in Savannah, so he doesn't get the buzz that he deserves. But it's good that he hitting camps like this, like the Southern Hoops Report.
If you see him in the long term, you see his athletic ability and his ability to shoot the ball. As a college player, he's going to get stronger. He's going to be even more tougher. That's why I said I think he's kind of undervalued right now. So we'll see how it plays out with him. But those two guys, I was like, if I were to start a team from that camp, I'd probably choose one of those two guys to start my team with.
Can't go wrong. Good player.
Can't go wrong with them at all. Man, the kid. So I didn't get to watch. The only kids I was able to watch is the kids I coached and the kids I coached against. And we're talking about Chris Watkins camp right now, Southern Hoops Report. Then we'll talk about Pro Movement, Jared. Man, the kids from Archer play hard.
Best kid I saw all weekend.
But the kid that stood out the most, the money Harrison, dude. I seen the tweets and I seen videos, but when he was on my team, I fussed at him. I'm like, cause I wanted him to guard Isaiah. I'm like, you the biggest dude on the court. Why you keep selling in jump shot? Like nobody can guard you. And once I, lit that fire on his flame, he stood out the rest of the game. Like I literally couldn't take him out the game.
And I think with him too as well, I didn't put him in my top 15 because when the only time I got to saw him was in the stations, and I don't think he was quite going yet. I think he got going once he started playing in the game. So I couldn't, and I didn't see him in the game, so I didn't put him in it.
I had him as my best player for the weekend, not just for the Southern Hoops Report camp.
He looked good in both camps.
And the Pro Movement camp too.
He definitely looked good in both camps.
Best player I saw.
He's about what, 6'3"?
6'4", 6'5".
Yeah,
6'5".
That's what we got him listed, but he's probably like 6'4" guard.
I think close to 6'3".
Shot the ball really well. Like, still has some things to learn and some improvement to make, but
you can see it.
A lot of upside. You can definitely see it.
Yeah,
you can see it. He was a big time player.
Yeah.
It's another kid, and I'm gonna bring him up. Keyshawn McPherson. He stood out because he plays for the Kane 16U. And I see him in practice, but I guess because he always play against 17U, I could never really see how good he really is. And I didn't really catch 16U this much in the spring, but at camp, he was so versatile. He was so versatile where he was banging down low, grabbing rebounds, and he was pushing it up the court and finishing through contact.
Yeah. And I think with him, people will take notice of him as he continues to get older. But even right now, the 2023 kid, I mean, he's 6'6", and he's probably what, 225?
225. Like I said, he used to be bigger. He's slimming up and getting chiseled.
Like he's like a baby Zion. Like the video of him crossing over that you were coaching him, he crossed over and went up and dunked it, doesn't show how big he is.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then so another kid, if you project him and look at him in 17U, and he can shoot the ball too. So if you look at him, you say, okay, this kid got a chance. Got a chance.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed,
dang, I want to talk about your kid, Mondre.
which kid?
You know, light skin. I be forgetting his name. The one that I pointed out because he missed like his first 3 shots.
You
And
talking about my young boy,
the shooter.
Robert.
The shooter. Yeah, I don't know if I got his name. The shooter, when I fussed at him, I said, how you gonna be a shooter?
Oh, you talking about TJ.
Oh, yeah.
TJ LeCadre. Yeah, he 2023. Yep. TJ played great.
Man. Dude, Bryce, Dre was watching my game, and I know he plays for Man Up. I know he can shoot the ball. He missed maybe his first 3 to 5 jumpers. I started going off. I'm like, you a shooter? You missing it? I said, you see your coach over there? He see that? You ain't no shooter. I'm like, shooters are the make shot. I'm going in. Man, the man can't hit the next 4-5 threes and looked at me. Just looked at me. But that's what I wanted. I want you to shut me up because I'm gonna keep talking.
Yeah. Can I say one thing, sidebar comment as well, for the kids that everybody already knows, that has a name, that go to camps, that go to everything. If you're going to show up, you need to perform at a high level. I don't care where it
Play
is,
to your competition,
what it is. If your back hurts, if your ankle hurts, if you have ailments, then in my opinion, and if you're not going to play your hardest and play your best basketball, I don't think you should show up. Because when you show up, every time you show up, you're going to get evaluated by somebody. Somebody's going to look at you and say, man, I don't know. I know he's good, but he really ain't doing it for me today. And I think a lot of kids do not understand that. So every time you show up to a camp or a practice or a game, you need to perform at your best level. And the reason why these kids don't understand that is because most of them have not played in a live period, and they don't understand how college coaches are going to really evaluate them, and they're really not going to take it lightly on them. So when they show up to a camp on a Saturday morning because they think everybody knows them already, they don't have to play that hard, and they come out there and they looking like some shit, you're being evaluated. Somebody sees you.
Yeah.
So, that was that was really like my only kind of things that I noticed, you know what I mean? And I think kids, even with talking with coaches still, they're like, man, there's some things that you don't even know as an AAU coach that we talk about kids while we're evaluating them. And you know what I mean? So it's like they've got to, the switch can't go on and off. And I feel like with a lot of the kids, we give them credit on Twitter because we know they're good, but we don't hold them accountable every time they show up to an event.
They come in as a prima donna.
Yeah, and like we still tweet on them, we still give them kudos, but that's not going to help them in the long run. You know what I mean? When it doesn't work like that every day in practice on a college campus, or even a lot, it doesn't work like that. So that was my thing, man. But it was a lot of talent, a lot of talent.
No, it definitely was. I ain't gonna lie. I gave some of my kids the cheat sheet when it came to camps. So when we was doing ball handling, I tell them to go at their own pace because everybody trying to go 100 miles per hour. Everybody trying to go hard. So fortunately enough, Chris Watkins put me on the ball handling at the last minute. I took shout out to Uncle Drew as well, man. Me and Uncle Drew did ball handling. He was showing people going through the cones and stuff. So what I always tell kids, in certain drills, it's not about how fast you go. It's about just doing the drill the correct way. And I told them during the ball handling, I'm like, look, y'all finna play 3 games. Y'all finna go through all these drills. Go at ball handling at your own pace so you know that you're doing it correct and not using all a ton of your energy. going through
Right.
ball handling. Because it was so many guys trying to, and I'm like, you steady losing the ball.
Mhm.
Do it at your own pace. Take your time. You're gonna do it 3 or 4 times and reserve your energy because you got 4 or 5 more drills you about to go do, and
Yeah.
you got 3 games to play. So I'm like, because certain drills gonna require to use a ton of energy, but certain drills you can just go at your own pace.
Yeah. And I
As long
mean,
as you do that right.
and basketball is a game of deception anyway. So it's not always like I have to go 0 to 100.
100, yeah.
It's fakes, it's shot fakes, and it's looking the opposite direction and going the other, crossing over this way and going that way. So I don't have to be necessarily be the fastest on the court, but if I know how to get by you, it'll be good.
Hey, man, you got to clip out Uncle Drew doing the drills,
Let me
though.
tell you something. On my court, let me tell you something. On my court, on those last few games, dudes started getting loose. They started dunking. They throwing off the backboard. They were getting funky, real funky.
One thing I looked at was from a talent standpoint, I saw a lot of good underclassmen point guards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys, 2024, 2025 that were really playing with a lot of command. Jones County got a really good 2025 kid coming out there. Warner Robbins got good 2025s that are playing out there. And I don't want to say this just because he was my kid. I honestly believe it. You know, Cam Perkins is my guy. 2024, Cam Perkins one of the best point guard to me, 2024, as a point guard.
Yes.
But I'm going to tell y'all something. People may not, because they may not seen this kid. He doesn't have the same name that Cam Perkins has. Robbie Hunter, 2024, is at that level. He is at that level. And I say that with a certain amount of confidence, not just because he's a man-up kid, but because I sat in the gym and watched his games and stood beside college coaches without telling them that he was my kid and listened to how many compliments he got this weekend. Just of understanding how to play the point guard position. Moving the ball, being in the right spot, getting paint touches, getting his teammates involved. Like, he had a really, really great camp on Saturday. So I wish he could have made it out on Sunday to play as well and compete with some of those guys as well.
You know who else got my attention from the point guard position that we didn't speak on yet? I don't know what class he's in, but Kenrick Lanier.
Kenrick go to Decatur. Good. He's good.
So I was watching him and I was like, I'd never seen him before. And I saw him catch the ball, rip through and go baseline and kind of like dunk it a little, like a little one-hand dunk. I was like, okay, kind of smooth. I kept watching him. Like, I think this guy's in my top 15. He's good. He's good. He's
always been good. He was a standout as a freshman at the freshman year.
He was giving me like Trayvon Duval vibes for some reason. I don't know why. I don't even know. But obviously, maybe he's not that good. But he's good. Yeah, he was good. So I thought he's another one.
Kasheem Grady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
First look at him. Passes the eye test, everything you want a college player to look like, and then has some of the game to go with it. So, seen him make big shots in the state playoffs and state tournament, state championship game. Made a really big shot for Mount Pisgah to beat Holy Innocents, and had a really good camp.
I did not know who he was either. I mean, when I saw his name, obviously, it stood out. But when I saw him in the drills, I put him down as one of my top 15 because he went hard too. He was about business, and he was getting it done.
Can play.
Yeah.
Flat out play.
And I didn't know his name until I looked at the packet and his number. Oh, okay. That's who that is.
The crazy thing about it to me is when I watch Kasheem Grady play, he reminds me a lot of a man-up kid, Will Freeman, that went to Baldwin, and they kind of had the same path through the state tournament. Will hit the game winner to beat Fayette County, and Kasheem hit the game winner to beat Holy Innocents, to help both of their teams win the state championship. To me, they both play hard. They both defend. They both can shoot the ball well. I think the difference where Kasheem Grady kind of has Will, he has probably about 2 more inches or so over Will, and his body is just a little more formed, a little more developed. But 2 really solid basketball players that play the game the right way.
Yeah. So I want to talk about my guy Jared Pro Movement Camp, which had a good camp. And shout out to McDonald High School. I've never been down there. That's a nice ass gym. That's a really, really nice gym. So shout out to McDonald High School. But man, Dre, you seen this kid play a lot, a few times this spring, and we talked about this kid. He was at Chris Watkins' camp as well and shot the ball pretty well. Xylon Blue.
Yes, really good basketball player.
Zion, if he finds the good situation high school wise for his senior season, I think he's gonna have a good season because he really shot the ball well.
I really think he did, and I had a conversation with his pops too about that, and like I was telling him not to put so much pressure. I hear people talking about how good of a shooter he is, how good of a shooter he is, how good of a shooter he is. And he is. He shoots the piss out of it. Like, there's no doubt about it. But it almost started reminding me of how people were talking about Zacho. And I was like, yo, if you just label him as a shooter, then you're going to miss it because he has other things that he can bring to the game. That's like, he can really handle it too. That's a kid that you can put in pick and rolls. Like, I would try to accentuate or get him in a situation that's going to accentuate his ability to really play the game and not just be a catch and shoot guy.
But yeah, he's definitely, like you said, he definitely can make shots off the dribble. He's just not a catch and shoot. He can come off of ball screens. He can finish with some floaters. You know, he definitely can knock down the mid-range and 3-pointers. So he's definitely not a set shot shooter. He's definitely shooting off the dribble. Yeah.
I think he can really be a good all-around point guard though, too. Like, you know, like I said, I could see him attacking the nail and being able to kick the corner or hitting the hook pass. Like, I could really see him being able to do that, to do those things. I didn't get a chance to watch as many games of his as I wanted to see how he is defensively, but he's certainly quick and fast. So, you know, I think he will be able to defend.
No, I definitely think he's going to get bigger once he start hitting the weights a little bit harder this summer and stuff. But another kid, and I have to bring up McDonald High School again because this kid attended there, Amon Starr, I think that's his name.
Good ball player.
I watched him he came to the freshman U 2 years ago, and he was a little small. He grew height wise. He got a little thicker. He's like 6'2" now, and he has athleticism. He was scoring on all levels, and like he was he definitely stood out at pro camp on Sunday. I definitely see him having a breakout season this year at McDonough. Great coach down there too as well, but he definitely stood out. And what you think, Dre?
I liked him a lot. He definitely a solid player. It's somebody that I kind of made note of him and was like, oh, I gotta track this guy. Like, I gotta find out where he's playing for AAU. Like, I gotta go see him play again. I thought he was solid. I got a chance to see him in the McDonough Baldwin game, and he was solid there too during the state tournament. But somebody that I haven't got a chance to see all summer as far as for AAU. So definitely wanted to track him, and it was another kid that I really really like watching play. I talked about Cam Perkins and how much I love him at the point guard position. Really, I could go down the list of all the Warner Robins kids that were there.
Most of the kids stood out. Man, shout out to my guy Tat, man.
The easy way to find a Warner Robins kid at camp is look for the kid that's playing hard as hell on every single play.
Every possession.
9 times out of 10, when you go check the book, they went to Warner Robins High School. Like, those guys play hard as hell and play really, really well, man. Like,
yeah, Rayshawn Williams.
Yep.
Jerron Mack. Like, it's funny because every time we was looking at a kid number, we looked at his school, like, okay, he goes to Warner Robins. He goes to Warner Robins. And it was like, and we found out we got 10 kids at camp.
and what I liked about it, though, is like, they didn't click up.
They didn't.
They was just going at it.
Yeah.
Diving on the floor for loose balls, playing defense, like really going at it. Cam Perkins was making people look like food.
Dude.
He's making people look like food.
The game was it seemed like it was slow motion for Cam.
Yeah. But I think
he was really playing at his own pace.
I think those guys that get an opportunity in the summer to play up 17U, it gets like that. Like, I think you talked about TJ earlier, TJ LeCadre from Man Up. I think that's what helped TJ of playing up 17U, getting those reps against older guys. And I think that really, those guys' confidence, because they've seen so much from a talent perspective being thrown at them all summer, their confidence is just on another level.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. So shout out to them guys. They do a great job. And I was just like, they making sure those guys out of Middle Georgia are in the right events to get exposure.
For sure.
And
I can go through my list too and call out a bunch of guys, but it's a great event.
Dude, but it's this one kid that stood out, man. You talked about on Sunday, Ethan Elliott.
Shooter
out of Alabama that plays for Team Carroll.
Yep.
Oh my, he probably had the outside of Cam, he might have the highest IQ at the camp. And that kid is a bucket.
If you let him get going, especially that right to left crossover into that pull up, that thing going in, man. Like it's going in.
He shot the ball well. He just have a knack for scoring, makes great decisions when the ball. He's never in a rush. Plays the right way.
Guys gotta understand, man. I see when we talk about these kids, I think about like what is the trend with all of these kids that we're naming, right? And I think the trend is that they played extremely hard on both sides of the floor. They ran the floor. It's crazy to me. If you just have a high motor, you're gonna stand out.
No,
most of these kids don't play hard enough that if you just have a motor and you're running the floor on defense, running the floor on offense, you're gonna stand out.
And you say that too, and I agree. But playing hard, but playing under control, because I think a lot of times players and coaches and people in general, they think playing hard means playing fast.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's definitely not the case. You still have to play within the game and know what's going on. Because I had a kid that played hard at Chris Camp. But
all that falling ain't good defense, dog.
It was like he was all over the place.
Are you going to what he look like?
No, I'm not going to put that kid. I'm not going to do that. But
I told him jump in just for that.
Hey, he jump in. Me and Bryce said something about this kid. But he literally was fouling. He played hard. He was athletic too.
Play hard. Shit out of people.
But I asked him, I said, hey, man, you ain't to think about just ever running track? Because you don't go like, you won't go. This what he told me. It was funny though. He said, Coach, I showed you my defense last game. I'm gonna show you my offense this game. So shit. I gave him the ball. Hey, I said, hey man, he running the point.
and I feel like
So you did that.
Dude, I wanted to see it. Look, I
Man,
wanted to see
him
the
in the
opportunity.
warm-up. She already knew. He already pointed him out before he already started.
Yeah.
Look at this boy over here. Look at this boy over here. I said, oh.
Well, he showed you his offense. He said he was going to, and he did.
Can I? And speaking on showing you defense, can I say this one thing too? When I go on people's Twitter pages and it says two-way player, there is no such thing as a two-way player, my friend.
You don't like that, bro?
No, that's bullshit.
Hey,
That's some
that's some NBA stuff. That's what the NBA started that.
Hey, Bryce is the old man of basketball, bro. Bryce is get off my lawn on Twitter. Hey, man.
Either you play defense or you don't play. There's no such thing as a like two-way play, bro. You have to guard.
You got NBA started that.
Hey, that shit is awful. Every time I see somebody Twitter about two-way player, I don't even look at his highlights. Because my IQ and your IQ is not aligning. We're not matching already. So I know I wasn't the best defensive player, but I would at least try to hide around somebody. You know what I'm saying? Get it help a little bit.
Hey man, the kid I had was top 5 defensive player.
Right. We spotted him in the shoot around. We knew what time it was. He was going hard in the shoot around too.
Man, the thing is, because I don't want to talk about this kid anymore because I'm not going to do this. But if he definitely runs track, he's getting a scholarship.
You could tell he can run.
And he doesn't run. And I told him, like, look, man, look. I stepped down. I said, look.
Hey, did he play basketball for his school?
I ain't asked, like, he could. I doubt it.
Ooh, I'm spitting out shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, if he runs track,
he looked like a track guy.
That kid's gonna get a scholarship.
Yeah, he could run for days. He was skinny too.
He was on go, like he almost dunked in transition. But after he dunked, he tried to headbutt a kid. So I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, okay, man.
Interesting. We've gone almost an hour, and Jerry hasn't mentioned his commitment yet today.
He coming for you.
What?
Is it that time to go get my drink? Because I know how y'all.
Now he would have mentioned that he had a kid commit. I'm waiting to see why he ain't talk about it yet.
We talking about the counts, man. We focusing on the kids of the counts, man. It's a ton of kids we got to still talk about.
There's more.
We got press conferences coming, man. They'll be coming, I think, in 3s.
No, because we definitely got who's another kid that stood out? It was a freshman, rising freshman out of Valdosta that stood out. Jabari Williams.
I like him.
He down in South Jordan, man. Shout out to my guy James Lee and Coach Lockhart down there in Valdosta.
I like him.
For him to just be in the 8th grade going to the 9th grade, he held his own. He really held his own. He has some Cam Perkins in him, like has that little wiggle, shifty, poise, make the right play. He can make shots and he defends. Because he's a smaller guard, but he gets up under you. He definitely stood out, man. And I think I want to talk about one more kid. Javante Bird out of Washington County. That kid plays hard. Like, he's one of them kids where he's out of Washington County where he's like, okay, he's a stupid athlete, like dumb athlete. So he's like, okay, he's a basketball player, but if he plays football, he has an opportunity to get paid, like playing a DB or wide receiver. Dude,
he playing on Sundays lot?
bro, you seen him?
Yeah.
He was on go.
Yeah.
He was under control. You man, think about how it was 6'8", 6'9" kids at camp. This kid was 6'4", 6'5", but he was catching everything at the rim, blocking shots, rebounding. And it's like, dang, I wanted to ask him, does he play football? Because he has an opportunity. Hey, I told his coach, man, hey,
he can play.
Hey.
I like him. I like him a lot.
Go get that check, young fella.
So we got questions about the shot clock in GHSA. We're 1 year closer. We're almost here. I think 2023 is the year that shot clocks will be mandatory. I think this year is the year that they vote on it by region, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to start in the region or the state playoffs. It's one of them.
Yeah. But I think your region has the vote for the shot clock this year.
Yeah.
And they can vote to use it or vote not to use it until it's mandatory. But I know some guys that are installing it. Marietta says that they're going to get shot clocks. That's great. A lot of guys are getting them. I think we're going to see a lot more this summer and in the fall leagues because I think people are going to start using them even more this year.
Yeah, I think coaches who didn't go to coaching clinic before might need to go because you're going to have some quick hitters in your bag. You're going to have, it's going to be a big adjustment.
And you're going to have to, your kids are going to have to be in better shape as well. They're going to have to be able to run a lot more. There's more possessions in the game. So
and they're going to have to value those possessions.
Yeah. More possessions, more quick hitters, and you got to learn how to close out them quarters and halves.
Here's the thing that I wonder if this is going to play a factor too. Like, as you say, Bryce, you're going to have more quick hitters and stuff. It's going to give people a lot more opportunity to get some of the stuff that you would normally save for the state tournament to get it on film earlier in the year. Like, you're going to have to fire those bullets in that gun earlier in the year maybe and not hold so much back. So we're going to see who can continuously add wrinkles and make adjustments to things because I heard a couple of coaches who ended up winning a state championship mention that, man, they had the nerve to run the same stuff they ran during the year on me in the state championship game. Like, they didn't even change nothing. Like, we were ready for that. So I've heard that said, a couple of times. So it's like, yo, maybe I don't know what if people feel like, well, y'all can have our stuff on film. We're just going to out execute you or what? But
hey, it's going to be funny because when you got that shot clock, you got to have good ass guards. You got to have guards. I bet these high school coaches who don't want their guards to play AAU going to want them to play AAU now.
Man, what I think? I'm not going to say that because I think GHSA feels like that's illegal.
What?
I think high school coaches are going to start sharing a lot of the information as far as sets that they run and things that they do with AAU coaches.
What you mean?
Hey, you got 3 of my guys on your team or whatever. Like, run this.
Practice it in the spring, in the summer.
Yeah, like run this. Here, y'all need some out of bounds.
The only thing about that is, Dre, you don't always have multiple kids from one team on the same AAU team. That's
True.
the only thing, because high school coaches tend to send them where they're going to send them sometimes. I think that's something that we forget. You know what I mean? Like, so
would it benefit? I've always seen a huge benefit in that information exchange between AAU coach and high school coach. Does it? Do you feel like it's a benefit to the player?
It's got to be, but I mean, I haven't had many AAU coaches come tell me how to. I mean, many high school coaches tell me what they would like to see me run.
Nah, you had one about 2 years ago complaining about his kid playing time though.
Do you ask him? Do you ask him for advice?
A high school coach?
Yeah, I'm just saying he light skinned. That's all I'm gonna say.
A high school coach?
Yeah, we was at McEachern.
Hey, Bryce, let me ask you this: if a high school coach after a game comes up to you and says, "Hey, man, I noticed that when Team X did this, y'all offense or whatever kind of stalled. Hey, this is what I do to beat that." Would you be receptive to that?
Of course, but at of course I would. Oh yeah, we could have a conversation about X's and O's all day. However, in AAU, it's particularly for me, I can't speak for everybody else. I like kids to feel comfortable in their own skin. So I only have a few plays. The rest of it, they got to be able to get up and down the floor. And I do that for a few reasons. One, because I know if they're playing a live period, I don't want them to be so stressed the way that they can't perform. And for two, it's AAU. We get up and down the floor. So if we need to call a set here and there, yeah, I'll call one to get a bucket. But if they can't get a bucket on their own, then that's what I'm going to say. He wasn't capable of getting a bucket on his own or off of a pick and roll or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. That's going to be my response probably 9 times out of 10. And that's the same thing I tell parents now anyway. Like, well, you're blaming other kids because they didn't pass you the ball, but when you got it, you act like you ain't want it. So I don't blame them for going and getting a bucket when you didn't want to get a bucket. And that's my logic on it. Now, if I was a high school coach, would it be different? It'd probably be a little different because high school basketball is different than AAU in a sense. It's a little different, but that's the way I look at it. So I'm not out here, and then for the most part, we don't have a bunch of practices,
right?
You know
yeah,
right. And I might have 4 kids or 5 kids show up, and then the one kid that I have that's a starter, he doesn't show up. So I can't always run those plays because he wasn't there. I had 4 kids show up, but you know what I mean? So it doesn't always work like that. So
for sure,
I have them. The dudes got to know how to play basketball. Like they got to know how to play. You got to know how to, when it's time to backdoor cut, you got to know how to cut. You know what I mean? You got to know how to screen for somebody. You know, I got to drive and kick.
Hey. I don't know why EJ putting up that comment because his coach, his coach on this 16U, we already had this discussion. Yeah,
they running a lot of sense.
That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna go in detail.
They running a lot of sense. Wow. I guess for me, right? Any high school coach that will come up and feel comfortable enough to have a type of basketball conversation with me, I'm going to engage, even if I can't use it at that time or for whatever reason. I'm definitely going to engage, just because I don't know, I like that kind of shit. So I'm gonna engage, coaches. I mean, I'm stealing stuff from y'all all the time anyway. Like I'm not just watching y'all games, just enjoying the view. I'm watching and seeing if there's stuff that I can trim off the table. So I'm cool to have the conversation. Now, whether I can implement it or not, I don't want anybody to be offended. But Bryce did have some valid reasons of why we may not be able to turn that around and implement it in regards to guys showing up to practice and all that kind of stuff.
It's tough because you got kids that play on a team based out of Cobb County coming away from Duluth
Yep.
and then practice at 7. Like that's tough.
I mean, I got multiple kids coming from South Georgia.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Hey, man, you do got some breaking news.
Yeah.
You got some news coming up with some South Georgia kids.
I got great news coming up, man. I'll just say this, and I'll leave it at this because these kids deserve to be able to break their own stuff. Every kid except for my 2022 kid has something.
That's what's up. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's about, man. So when they decide to commit and when they drop their stuff or when they make their decision, I'll be here to help celebrate. But every kid got something, man. So I'm definitely happy about it.
No, that's what
Top independent 16U and GA, only 2 practices.
Hey, shout out to Aaron Banks, man. Just picked up 2 big offers, SEC offers from Ole Miss and Mississippi State. But Georgia South definitely has been making some noise this spring. But I wouldn't mind seeing the Georgia South versus what's my guy Cam Pope team?
Wood Elite.
I don't know if they already played. They probably did.
Good matchup, man. I'd like to see it too. Good matchup.
Yeah, but
I would really like to see that too.
Keep doing your thing, Ernest EJ Brown, man. Keep representing the South. But in other news, is it me? I'm gonna look at it. Y'all ask me if I'm wrong or right. Are some of these AAU coaches getting more offended than in the rankings more than the players are?
Hey, their panties be balled up, tied up in a wad like that.
Because it's like, now I'm looking at it as okay, maybe they're defending their kid, but then it's like, okay, some of it be over the top. And it's like, it's a ranking. It's not really determining how good your kid really is. It's a ranking.
Sometimes it does, though.
It does.
It sometimes determines how, like, your kid, he might project to be something what we see him as in the future, but right now, you're inconsistent. So I can't even justify why you should be top 40.
Well, I'm gonna take it from a different angle too. Like rankings, and you guys have been away outside of 17U. You guys have been away from coaching the younger age groups.
Mm-hmm.
It can really just muddy up your day.
It can.
It is a pain in the ass to try to explain to a parent that you didn't get ranked because you didn't go to this guy's camp, or you didn't get ranked because of, you know what I'm saying? Like but you still have to have the conversation regardless of what, like there are many different reasons, right? You understand there are a lot of different reasons of why all this shit plays out, but your phone starts ringing like 20 minutes after these things get released, your phone is ringing.
Yeah.
And there are questions. And these parents are concerned. And we're in this business, so we kind of know. They're not, so they don't. And they're legitimately concerned for their kid.
But Dre, can I ask you this question? If in your practices or pre-game, post-game, in the lobby, whatever the case may be, when you're having these conversations with your team or players individually or what they are lacking, then when they get rankings, it shouldn't be such a shock because I already told you.
Well, it is when they're wrong.
Well, that's different. That's different.
I mean,
if you're wrong, then that's different.
I mean, when you like, okay, I'm gonna give an example. When you take a kid that is starting for his AAU team, high point scorer, the best player for his team or whatever, and a starter on varsity. And he's ranked below a kid that doesn't play varsity and comes off the bench for his AAU team. It's kind of hard to make sense of some of that. But as an AAU director, you kind of got to.
Does that mean that the kid that ranked higher than him is better because the kid doesn't play varsity and he plays JV?
If the kid doesn't start for his AAU team or he's not like, and I'm trying to do this without calling out a particular kid.
I'm looking at it too, though.
Scenario.
What AAU team and what high school? Because
in my experience, and I understand that, Locke, I wouldn't give you that scenario if it wasn't comparable.
Gotcha.
It would be a difference if the kid went to Milton or Wheeler and they weren't starting because they were at Milton or Wheeler or Grayson. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's not what you're talking about. All right, cool. All right.
So, and I've had to have those conversations. Okay, kids on the same AAU team.
Okay.
One kid starts, leads the team in scoring. The other kid comes off the bench, does not, and you have one kid ranked above another kid. And for me, it doesn't matter, right? Like, again, I understand what all comes into it, but you get tired of when, after about the fifth or sixth phone call, like you're tired of having it wears you out of having to have that conversation.
So, the rankings, in all honesty, I don't think it means anything. It means nothing. I don't think so.
I don't think it does either.
Because
I take that back.
You have to perform anyway.
ESPN rankings matter.
Look, hey, I'm gonna give y'all a prime example.
Those rankings matter, yeah.
ESPN rankings matter. Outside of that,
247 top 100 rankings, they matter.
Yeah. Outside of that, it doesn't.
Hey, it was kids that was ranked number 1 in the 2021 class in Georgia. Coming in but now they senior year, they're going to prep.
They unsigned, right?
They're unsigned. So them some examples you can tell them like, okay, they was number 1. No, it's like it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can use it as motivation, but I always look at it where, man, look, those guys, whoever they only have 2 eyes. And a lot of times they may watch your kids play once or twice that spring. So those 1 or 2 games, if you didn't really perform well in front of his eyes, of course you're going to rank them a little bit lower. But then if you don't go to his camp or their camps, you may get ranked a little bit even lower.
Hey, and like I understand all of that, bro. I do. Like I said, I just think as a director, you explain that to one parent, you get another text message and a phone call, you get another phone call, you get another phone call, you get another phone. And I think that's why you see the outbursts on Twitter sometimes, because it's like, yo, like,
you know what?
Now, my 17U kids, for my older kids, my 2021s, my 2022s, they don't care. Like, they really don't care, bro. Like, you can rank them whatever. Like, they understand this. They're a little older. Their parents are a little, longer in the tooth when it comes to the game. Like, they understand it. When you coach in those younger age groups, bro, like, it can muddy up your day.
In the last 4 summers, I don't think I've ever had a ranked kid. I mean, they might have been, but I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Terrell might have been ranked, but if he was, he probably wasn't ranked high. You know what I mean? DJ Patrick, I doubt he was ranked. So they're going to be evaluated regardless of the rankings or not, and they're going to have to perform in front of the college coaches. And if you are ranked high and you have offers and you stink up the joint and you play bad, guess what? You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. They have to perform at the end of the day.
I agree with that. I think my only thing when it comes to the rankings personally, right? Like, I agree with everything y'all said. My only issue, explaining the outbursts on Twitter is because as a director, I've gotten those phone calls before. Like, I had to sit and explain this because the rankings came out one time and I was at a team barbecue surrounded by parents and having to have this whole conversation in front of parents. It's a bad time, bro. I'm trying to eat ribs. Like, it was a bad time. So, like, but my only issue when it comes to the rankings now is that now, to me, rankings aren't about getting it right necessarily anymore. I don't feel like, and I could be wrong because I don't know everybody's intention. I don't know everybody's heart. I'm not there when they come out. There used to be a certain amount of journalistic integrity. They weren't necessarily created in a silo, in a funnel, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were people reaching out to get information to put rankings together, and it was more about the basketball. Now I feel like it's a part of a business model, which I don't necessarily think is good for the game. But there's a lot of stuff that is happening around basketball, especially now, that I think is a part of a business model, and it's not about basketball anymore.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't think they're not trying to get it right. I just think it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Right. Very hard.
It's no way, unless you have a staff or a team, because
it's like
no way in hell you could rank over 100 kids, over 150 kids with your own two eyes. Like, I work for On the Radar. We talk about stuff. We always say we're never going to, it's 4 or 5 people watching 4 or 5 different games, but we never do a rank because we're not going to get it right because there's going to be so many different opinions.
And then people are going to be mad and they're going to tweet you and at you and do all this stuff. It's nearly impossible. It's really impossible to do it right.
I think there's always been that, man. I think, it's extremely difficult. I want to stop short of saying impossible, but it is extremely difficult, like very hard. I don't think any one person can put out a ranking and get it right. As one person, like, you're going to have a conference call with a lot of people. Like, you're going to have to get Sean, Jerome, you're going to have to get somebody from Hoopsing, you're going to have to get
talk to a lot of people
on the phone to really to get it right. Do I think it's worth it to try to get it right? Yes, I think it's worth it.
But if you're only gonna put it out, let's say you put it out twice a year. If you're only gonna put it out twice a year, then yes, I think it's worth it to have those conversations and those calls. If you're gonna put it out, if you're putting it out a lot, then you don't have time to do all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you don't.
I agree with you, Bryce. And I don't
think one ranking out in the end of high school season in March, and then you drop another one in the fourth quarter, then okay, maybe you got time to gather all your information, and you probably are you've seen everything. You know what I mean? You've seen all you've seen all the high schools, and you probably get it right.
That's good timing too, Bryce. As a matter of fact, that's good timing. Into high school, right before you go into AAU, you get a ranking. That's great.
And even as AAU coaches, I look at the rankings and I say, "Yo, I know my kid is is better than this dude, or I know my kid."
Yeah.
But we have to take the blinders off, just like we tell the parents. And a kid may not be as high, well, maybe he hasn't been on the scene that long.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and even some of the rankings, what I do sometimes is I'll screenshot it and I'll send it to a player and say, "Yo, this is where you stand right now, bro." Like,
using motivation.
And the reasons that I do that is so you can it follows up with like data. Like, yo, I've been telling you you're inconsistent. Yeah. I've told you don't play hard enough. I've told you know what I mean? I've told you these things. So as a result, this is where you stand. Are you better than this? I think so, but you haven't shown it yet.
one thing that I miss, Bryce, is exactly what you're saying about all of this. I remember a time where matchups used to be built off of these rankings to a certain degree. And like when you get guys that was, number 8 versus number 5, you know what I'm saying, in the state rankings, like it was a big deal. You get these matchups and guys compete. You know what I mean? It was another thing for competition. We have so many things where like the competition is kind of dumbed down and doesn't matter. Rankings used to be kind of a part of it. And I kind of miss that.
But you know why? It's social media, man, because you don't have to wait to go see that. It's already on your phone.
True.
So it's like, I remember the podcast we just listened to that Huff sent us. He like how Sonny set up the Darius Washington versus Sebastian Telfair. If social media was out back then with those two guys,
billions, yeah.
But it's like the social media stuff is not.
It speeds everything up.
It speeds everything up, so you really don't even get a chance to embrace it or fully enjoy it as you want, because soon as that matchup happens, there's another matchup the next following weekend, because there's so many AAU tournaments and there's so many good AAU tournaments, especially here in Atlanta, where you're getting so many crazy matchups. Like I want to see in this 2023 class a Stephon Castle versus Isaiah Collier.
Yes.
Some of the matchups which we may can get at the tip-off classic. But it's like it's the social media, man. We don't fully enjoy it. It's something new every second.
Yeah. And the social media also makes it feel like people, like I said in the past, I feel like people feel like because of social media and they're trying to build their own brands and their own whatever this and that, it's entitling people to feel like they are better than what they are. And
we always skip steps too, Bryce. Like we always talk about who's going to be the best college player, who's going to be a pro.
Or you skipping steps to make to like, nah, bro, you ain't even there yet. Like, you're not entitled to none of that. You ain't done shit.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? And I think that goes for coaches, players, evaluators, whoever we rank it. I think it goes for all of them. Like, nah, bro, you ain't done nothing.
And I don't knock anybody who does it different. I just feel like for me this year, it's why I haven't really talked about Man Up Kids on this platform as much as I normally would. I know I just shouted out some today. I've been quiet, especially on my 2023s. I've been quiet. I don't post them as much on social media as I did before because like I felt like they were becoming accustomed to that every time I play decent, that all these tweets are going to come out. And I kind of wanted to let them know that like, no, you're very good. Like I think our 2023s could really be as good as when we had Tyron Lawrence and Dip and Cavante and Shaq. Like, I feel like that team, which is probably the best man-up team we ever had. Mason Green, we had all of those kids. It's probably the best man-up team we've ever had. I feel like the 2023s that we have now can get there, but we're not there, right? And I wanted to make sure that they understood that, like, you got to earn it. You can't get all of that without it. Because those kids went through without any of that.
Yeah. That's just my thing, bro. It's like I just feel like a lot of people feel like they are entitled to shit, and it's just like most of the time, even if they might be off a little bit, or the ranking might be off a little bit, they, maybe it's something to it. Like maybe you aren't. And I'm not talking about Dre scenario, you know what I'm saying? But maybe there's a reason why you are not where you are. And like the Twitter shit, you can do all that typing and all that. Like you got to play. You got to play.
Yeah, I think too. It's getting to the point where there are guys who are just good social media players.
Yeah.
Where they're really not good when you see them, but they're gonna have so many highlights, and it's gonna make it seem like they're good.
And they don't know how to make the extra pass.
Yeah.
And kick it out and defend because they know that they're gonna get a video. So they don't. And nobody's probably told them how to play basketball the right way.
It ain't even that. I don't think nobody told them. I think social media, we always say, like, we had this discussion the other day in the group chat, about the culture. I just think social media is becoming the culture right now because it's like, y'all don't see NBA players at the tournaments and stuff. Half of the time, their kids don't really be that good, but because of their parents, they're gonna get a highlight tape. But you have to somewhat do it.
But
because that's what it is now.
There's gonna be a day and a time when it will catch up with you.
It will.
Yeah,
it will.
So you either do all the barking on Twitter, you have to perform. There's no more COVID where you can stream it and video it, and no, sir, you have to do it in front of people now. And the live period situation, when you're playing in front of college coaches and you're really being evaluated, is a lot tougher than these people know because they haven't done it, even coaching. So you know what I mean? Like, you have to perform. Yep. And I even remember the last time we had a live period, and I knew we were good, and I was so damn nervous because I knew it was going to be a lot of people watching. Bro, I went home after work and took 2 shots to calm my nerves to go coach a basketball game because I knew, like, damn, this shit is going to be some expectations here. It's going to be a lot of coaches here. You know what I mean? The kids want to perform. This is a lot of pressure. I lied to you not. I went home before the 6 o'clock game and said, and went to McEachern. Nobody know that. But by the time I walked in, I was calm. And then we went and played the game and we were straight. But you're gonna have to play. You can't hide anymore.
Hey man, you didn't do nothing wrong, man. I was seeing coaches be on shrooms before the game.
Wow.
I don't see something. Wow.
Don't shrooms make you hallucinate, Lock?
Hey, you see some of them coaches be wilding out?
Good point. Good point. I've got a couple in mind that might have been. Okay. No, I think, I had a call with our parents about live period, and I just talked to them about being positive with their kids. It is a lot of pressure. I've seen kids during live period like break down and cry, like have a bad game, and like I've seen kids break down. Like,
you see how you respond to that though. You can't.
Yeah, these kids put so much pressure on themselves though, Bryce. Like, you get a kid and his dream school is there watching, and he plays like shit. Like he's been building that moment up in his head all of this time. Like, I've seen kids break down over stuff like that. Like,
here's the thing.
Gotta be positive, man.
The kid should be so locked in. He should know who's there watching him. He shouldn't look up and say, Michigan State's here to watch me. Shit, they might not even be there to watch you. They might be watching somebody else another team.
Yeah, sure.
You don't know that. So you shouldn't even worry about it. You just need to play your game. And Locke and I, we had a visit with some kids last week where they went on a visit, unofficial, and the coach gave them some great advice. His advice was, don't go out there doing shit that you don't normally do.
For sure.
Do what you do well, and then you'll get noticed. If you go out there and you do a bunch of stuff you shooting a bunch of times and you missing, or you doing things that you don't know that you look like how to play the game and so on and so forth, you're not going to do well. If you play your role and play your position, you should be okay.
I agree with that. I think, again, and the reason why I talk to my parents and not like I didn't have the kids on the call, because most of the time the kids understand, or I can talk to them right before the game. But with the parents, that's where the pressure comes from. Like, that's not the time to be on the sideline yelling and going crazy about every possession or trying to talk to your kid during the game. That's not the time to do that.
Nah.
Like, that's the time where they need you to be, to me, right? This is just me, to be as positive as you possibly can.
Honestly,
like,
the best thing as a parent can do during live period, in my opinion, is to sit 2 courts over and watch from the other bleacher.
Leave them alone. Yeah.
Let them figure it out. And then hopefully all goes well. And if they make a couple good plays, hopefully goes well. But if they see you sitting right there and you're making facial expressions, it's not gonna help.
Especially when they miss a shot, man. It's too much pressure. Again, like I've said, I've seen it get bad. I've seen kids break down. Like, I've seen it get bad. And you don't want that. Why do coaches insist on calling plays every single time down the floor? I don't know. That's too much work.
I think a lot of times coaches want to show that they can coach, so they'll tend to overcoach. Because at the end of the day, you still want to win the game.
Yeah, you want to win. You want to win, and it helps. It helps a lot if you win games in live period.
No, it definitely does.
A lot.
It helps when you win and when it's a good game and you the kids are playing within the game. Because a lot of coaches, you can have a player, but if the game just look horrible and people are falling, the game, like if it's fast paced, people are falling on the floor. Like, it's just not a controlled basketball game. It doesn't look clean. College coaches will stop watching the game. They don't even care if you got a stud or a player. They will stop watching that game because it's hard to watch. College coaches do not like watching hard basketball.
Nah. Hey, I have a kid. We have a kid that's 6'6" or whatever, and he played a couple weekends ago before, the last AU event, whatever. And I told him, I said, man, they would have got up and left. They are not staying here to watch you at this point. You have not done shit. And then second half, he's trying to pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, it's too late now. They might have already left. So I try to use those experiences leading up to it so they can see everything. Now, it ain't no surprises, bro. We've had conversations with your dad or your mom. We've showed you rankings. We showed you coaches that are interested or not interested. We've given you all the data. Now, the rest is on you.
Mm-hmm.
That was on you. We letting you rock out. You can't say, damn, he ain't letting me. Nah, bro. We letting you go.
Yeah.
So, the live period situation, man, it could turn some people into different people because you can sit right there as a parent and see your child being evaluated. His future right there. You can see it. And some of them can't handle it. You know what I mean? It gets tough. And from my experience, the kids that perform the best have no idea that their parents are even there.
A lot of times, yeah, you're right.
They ducked off somewhere, or you know what I mean? The kid might have drove himself. I don't know.
No, you got a great point, Bryce.
You see the dad over there standing on the corner? You see your dad over there standing on the corner, like the corner of the court, with his arms folded? And the coach is right there sitting next to him too. And they shout, "Go to the basket! Go to the basket!"
And guess what? The coaches are looking to see if that's your parent, they seeing if your parent's doing all the extra shit. They're taking note of that. Tom Crean, if y'all notice, Tom Crean doesn't sit down when he's watching games. He's standing in the middle of between two games, turning his head back and forth, looking at all the games, and he's looking at parents too.
Man,
So-
that man stands in the middle of the court with his notepad and paces.
Yes.
So, but yeah, man, I understand it is gonna be some nerves because, like I said, shit, I was nervous too. I had some anxiety. I ain't gonna lie. But after that one game, shit, I was rolling at that point. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, man, it's just basketball. You just having fun. If you playing hard and you having fun and you talking, you doing this, good things will happen to you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yo, hey, I didn't see Rob coming. We gotta get Rob on the show, man. My man, top 5 now. Training in Georgia, top 3, top 5.
yeah, you gotta call him in.
Got to get Rob back on. Always good basketball conversation with Rob too.
Rob the Juice Man. Don't start calling my dude Rob the Juice Man. Rob be having all the juice.
Hey, Rob be courtside, bro.
Rob have all the info.
Courtside, bro.
Start calling my man the Juice Man. I'm finna change his number right now. The Juice Man.
But man, I can't wait. We get to watch some more basketball this week. Kennesaw State
Oh, yeah, I'm
camp
up in
this
there.
weekend. I'll be there Saturday, Sunday. I'll be watching some games at North Paulton too. I'm going to North Paulton tomorrow. So I'll be up there watching some games at North Paulton tomorrow. I always love June, man. Always love June. So it'll be a good time, man.
Friday, Georgia State on Friday.
Tomorrow?
And yeah, in Georgia State team camp tomorrow or no?
I haven't heard about Georgia State team camp, but a lot of people was complaining about that camp this year.
I had the only ones I know. I know Auburn was today, Alabama is tomorrow. Then Kennesaw State. I don't know about Georgia State.
Like Roll Tide, Alabama?
Huh?
Roll Tide, Alabama's tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. Yep.
I ain't know schools went to that.
Yeah, it's some local teams there. It was
Georgia
multiple
State-
local
Georgia
teams
State's
at
tomorrow.
There's multiple local teams at Auburn today. Pebblebrook was at Auburn. Willard was at Auburn. Valdosta was at Auburn. Bama was today. I got it on my calendar for tomorrow.
Nah, Auburn was today.
Yeah, I was about to say Auburn was today.
Pretty sure.
Oh, that Culture 3 came out.
That come out at 12 o'clock. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some songs came out. Well, Avalanche. I heard it, but I gotta listen to it.
I'm trying to go to some team camps and watch. I usually go to Georgia State. I might have to check out Kennesaw State on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there Saturday and Sunday. Then I'm excited about the team camp at Lake Point. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I'll probably just go ahead and might as well just bring my backpack up there because I'm gonna be there chilling all day watching them games. So
Yeah, I got to figure it out, man. I'm gotta bring some stuff into the venue, man. They gotta let me bring my fruit and stuff in, bro. I can't be eating
All right, well, you finna see how much clout you got.
right.
I ain't got none.
You got clout. You ain't got no net, but you got clout.
I ain't got the KSU face card, bro. I have to go in with Kelvin.
You'll be able to bring fruit into KSU, bro. We've been to KSU plenty of times.
Oh no, yeah, we good at KSU.
Yeah.
We
Lake
good.
Point, you might have some trouble bringing fruit into Lake Point. You might have to walk in with Pebblebrook or something.
We'll see. Well, man, that's our show, man. We'll be back next Thursday. We'll give a preview. At that point, by next Thursday, we'll be able to talk about the Kennesaw State camp that went down this weekend. Huff's event, the Summer Explosion. I'll be out at the Summer Explosion on the 16th, covering Huff's event in Denmark. So I'll be able to give y'all a breakdown of that. And we'll be headed into the first weekend of the GHSA team camp. So hopefully we'll have a cool preview for the team camp. So break down some of the matchups.
Hey, I'm about to get off the show, but I'm just be messy because I can. I heard all the top teams are playing in the first session.
Is that what happened?
I heard all the top teams are playing in the first session. That's what I heard. I haven't looked at the schedule.
You know what though? It might make sense. You know why they might have done that? Because they might want all the coaches to go ahead and stay here and knock it out the way. They're not gonna be able to come back and forth. If they do that though, that might be messed up.
Yeah.
You know, see.
But that's what I heard from a little birdie.
That's tough.
So if you're playing in the second session and not the first,
see, and y'all know here always want me to apply for these high school jobs and do all this and start from the ground up. Y'all gonna have me starting ground zero, and I'm not getting no prime time live period spots and all that, man. Come on, man.
Okay, you say the top teams are playing in both. Okay, see, I didn't know it.
Well,
That's
only
why
4 teams are playing both.
Yeah, we know
Right.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, y'all go lock. Go talk. Check the purple bracket. Okay.
I'm gonna check the break. I never look at a team bracket until the day of the game or the night before.
Night before.
Because the things change. So it's like I don't never want to plan anything.
I'm a night before.
Yeah. Just look at it. So I didn't look. I just heard it from a coach or two. They said top teams, but according to them, they were wrong. So
I saw East Coweta got the main court on at Kennesaw State.
of course, what you already come on. They probably didn't pay. They probably didn't pay to go there. What you mean? Like what?
Lot of put people business. Hey man, can we go a lot?
It's not moving no. It's logical. It's logical sense. Like,
I mean, it was logical to me. I was just bringing it to light. I get it. I was just saying it out loud.
It's logical. It's no like it's their business. Nobody putting it like.
If you look at the schedule, you can see. Yeah. Oh well. Main court.
Like,
you better have
like, man, they probably recruiting the kids. Sammy Moss goes to East Coweta. Sammy Moss can play at Kennesaw State.
That's gonna be Kennesaw Coweta. They get him too.
So I feel like if East Georgia having a team camp or AAU tournament, I bet you the Georgia Canes gonna get the main court.
East Georgia Canes is what they calling us in the chat now. So,
but
that's good stuff.
You know.
I can't wait to see Aja play.
Oh yeah, I'm going to Montgomery.
I'm probably gonna go to that event.
Hey, I'm going to Faulkner College. That's gonna be jumping. It's a good little amount of teams from Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama.
Hopefully, it's not too far of a drive.
No, Montgomery like 2.5. Hey, bro, it's man. Hey, it goes. Hey, it's Alabama. Well, Bryce, you bougie, so I don't mind. I ain't talking about it. Never mind.
Yeah,
the
man, I already knew where Locke was going with this.
The Gump. Hey,
yeah.
Hey, shout out to my guys in the Gump, Pierre Mays and Rashad Mays.
That ain't my kind of fun, bro. I'm a buckhead kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm country motherfucker.
Happy hours and lounges and off.
They got happy. They got happy hours. It might not be the happy hour you talking about.
I already know, man. Hey, family, good night. We love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. We'll see y'all Thursday.
All right, man.